stay on budget. But I don't know what's going on nowadays that it can't, like, nothing can be managed properly or whatever. So if the Rings of Power Season 3 just wrapped production now, why, why am I stopping in the middle of the sentence? Like, there's no period there. I'm just, for some reason, I just stop after talking for a bit. Like, I think like my brain is assuming a natural conclusion to the sentence and is putting a period in there, auto-correcting a period in there in my mind or something. Anyway, what am I talking about? So if the Rings of Power Season 3 just wrapped production now, another 14 months of post-production would produce a release date in February 2027. Why does it have to be that long? That's a full 2.5 years between seasons. That's a decent bit longer than the 23-month gap between Season 1 and 2. You know, if they put all this effort into writing, maybe they would make a better series. It's like the thing that people, like audiences, attached to the most is the story. If you have a good story with good acting, or at least decent acting, no, a story, you just need like a good story. Like like that's what people would attach to the most. Like you don't need all these fancy graphics and effects and all that. Just give a good story and do what you can for the rest later. After, yeah. Part of this is due to the weirdly late renewal of Rings of Power Season 3. Even though Season 2 ended in October 2024, it wasn't greenlit until February 2025. 4 months later. Pretty unusual for a series that was already supposed to be 5 seasons long at baseline. Yeah. Maybe don't do that? Or you know what? I bet you it was they weren't even sure if they were even going to make Season 3. I'm guessing like they there's a cat that they what am I saying? Like they looked at the numbers. They looked at like the audience versus, or like the audience retention versus the cost of making and the cost of going back on the contract. And I guess they decided it's probably cheaper just to make a season 3, maybe a season 4. Season 4 may not happen. We'll see what we get there. But if you know what's but if you know what's going on here, you may understand. Reportedly, viewership for The Rings of Power Season 2 was half that of Season 1. The first season arriving with a somewhat tepid reception when Amazon imagined it could be its own Game of Thrones. Well, that's the problem. This is not Game of Thrones. This is Lord of the Rings. Like, they're two pretty different stories. Very different attitudes and atmospheres to them, so don't. That was your first mistake, Amazon. Season 2 was actually quite a bit better, but you only get one chance to make a first impression. Better. What? Doing better in audience retention, or because it certainly wasn't story. But you only this is a huge commitment for resources for Amazon. This is a huge commitment of resources for Amazon, given the movie-like production value of the show. Movie-like? Are you kidding? Have you seen the TV show? I've seen it, then that is far from movie-like. It's more like high school play kind of what is it? Like production. No, in fact, maybe a high school plays have better production even. Yeah, no. Like, nothing went right on that show. Nothing looked right. Nothing sounded right. Like, it was just a complete mess. I don't know what these guys are talking about. I'm not sure any series on TV is more elaborately rendered. Game of Thrones was. Yeah, no, again, what are you talking about? It was very badly done, very cheaply made, it looked like. So if viewership keeps going down while costs remain the same, that 5-season idea could be out of reach. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It certainly won't help if it's full 2.5 years between seasons, as it's difficult to imagine that viewership goes up after forcing fans to wait that long. I don't think it's the wait that's the problem. It's, again, the crappy story and the poor production. Even for some of the most popular TV shows, the lengthy gaps led to less retention. See Wednesday season 2 underperforming the first. Do you remember Game of Thrones? Like they had pretty it was a pretty lengthy. Or never mind. So like Game of Thrones, they had like a lengthy time between seasons as well, but they still kept their audience because the story kept them engaged. Maybe learn from that, Amazon, or whoever's producing this. The cat's making so much noise. I don't know what the future holds for Rings of Power, but we don't find out until 2027 at the earliest, most likely. Okay. And I guess that's it. Yeah, all right. Looks like it's coming 2027 sometime, maybe. And the cat is playing with her toys. Yeah, I don't know, but what do you think? What do you think about the Rings of Power? I think they should just cut their losses. Amazon should just do that because they're clearly not capable of producing like the level of quality that's necessary to like for a Lord of the Rings story. And I don't think they're even going to get their audience back. Like they're probably going to. It's probably going to do even the ratings are probably going to be even worse than last season's. Because nobody I don't know, they did it wrong. Nobody liked it, so there you go. You reap what you sow. I guess that's all I can say about that. Okay, what do you think? Is what do you think about the Rings of Power? Do you think it will go a full 5 seasons, or do you think the third is going to be it? Also, do you have cats that also like to mess up your lives? You have cats that like making noise when you're trying to do something that needs quiet in the background. Okay, there we go.